Hey, what's up guys, it's me again and welcome back to my channel Mayta What Ifs. Today I am back with a new short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Naruto Was the Vessel of Sukuna. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie. Now before continuing this, shout out is due where it is due. Shout out to Gavin Marcus 7444 for suggesting this idea. He actually wanted me to make Naruto the vessel of both Gojo and Sukuna since I already made a movie about Naruto having Gojo's abilities and raising his sibling in, you know, Apollo Uchiha channel as a whole movie. If you haven't checked that out, by the way, you should definitely do so. I thought, why not just make it Sukuna? And I am going to be changing Sukuna's personality a little bit as the story goes along. Some of you might not like it, I guess, but most of you will. Hopefully. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's story, and if you do, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And disclaimer, this might be a little bit of gory and dark story, so yeah, disclaimer is given ahead of time. And yeah, there is no face cam today because there's a huge pimple on my face, as well as I can't show you my face right now. Anyways, for a few days I won't be able to do so. So I hope you don't mind. Anyways, enjoy today's story. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Our story begins up in the realm of Kamiyami and Shinigami, where we see the three goddesses seated together, concerned about one of their multiverse that they also watched over. What are we gonna do about this demon that exists, the bane of our existence? Said Shinigami. Isn't it obvious? He falls under your domain, no? He's not dead. He's a cursed spirit. I still do not comprehend how a human was able to become the king of curses in that universe, and become immortal nonetheless, and powerful only second to us. That is something that we also need to comprehend as well. We have been neglecting that universe for a while now, and are allowing these curse users to roam and rage free as they desire, and many innocents have died, said Yami. But the worst of all of them is him, Sukuna. What are we gonna do about him? We're gonna bring him into this reality, weaken him to the point that he cannot be capable of holding a candle to us any longer. By doing what? We cannot physically remove his power, said Yami. But, said Shinigami, as she kind of agreed with Kami, we can seal away his powers. Can we not? That is what I'm trying to say. But who will be his vessel? It needs a vessel to be contained in. We are going to send in a child of prophecy, no? What? Are you insane? Said Yami. Both of you. Are you nuts? What if the child of prophecy is corrupted by that demon? Everything will go down to hell. Everything will. The soul of Sukuna in its own is way too much strong and corrupted. It can even corrupt that poor soul. And we know more than anyone what the child has to go through to become the true child of prophecy. We know. And that is why we completely trust in him. And we know greatly that he will not fail. As Shinigami nodded, we will make sure of that. As after that we see Sukuna's soul in the form of an orb that was vibrating continuously with dark energy was brought there. Ugh, the detestful energy of that cursed spirit. He's still trying to escape, even if I have weakened him. This seal is barely holding him on. Then place a lot more seals on him. I have already added 2,000 seals on him, so that even if he breaks one, it will take him at least 10,000 of years to break the other. And by the time until then, the child of prophecy will have moved on, and not only that, the peels will have been ensued. And until then, we will come up with a way and proper seal to finally seal this darkness away for good, and rid both of the universe from this evil. I still don't think that this is a good idea. As now we see, Kami and Shinigami reassured Yami and decided it would be best to send and seal the spirit of Sukuna inside the vessel that was going to be the child of prophecy, who was going to bring peace to that world in the elemental nations. It was October 10th and nighttime as we go towards Konoha. Everything was supposed to be peaceful, as wind was blowing People were resting at their home. Children were either sleeping or having a sleepover. The adults were drinking at a bar or were either having a chat in the streets. Everything was peaceful until a dreadful force surrounded them and what stopped them in their tracks, as if all the blood in their body ran cold. It was the Kyubi no Yoko, as its huge shadow loomed over them, even from afar. As there, that is when all chaos ensued. People began to run left and right like headless chickens. All the while, the Kage was nowhere to be found. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the previous Hokage, had to take the charge, coming out of his retirement of the shinobi, going to the front lines, acting as the last line of defense for their home. But even they knew that they were fighting a lost battle and needed Minato here, their current Hokage, who was nowhere to be found. And soon enough, Minato did arrive, but with a child in his arms. The child had blonde hair, but with a little bit of pinkish, tips at the end of him. And his eyes, they were completely different. They were golden, reddish with a blue hue in them. As now we see, the baby boy was placed there. As Minato began to draw the seal, as Hiruzen taking his chance, arrived there. Minato, where have you been? I thought you had everything under control. Now's not the time to fight. We need to seal away the Biju inside my son. Your son? Where is Kushina and the others? As Minato looked at Hiruzen with a sad look. Oh no. They didn't make it, did they? We were attacked by a masked person claiming to be Madara Uchiha. What? That's impossible. Now is not the time, Hiruzen-sama. I have to do this. I have to use their seal. What? What are you talking? As that is when Hiruzen stopped, realizing what Minato was about to do. Minato, are you insane? Using the Hakai Fuyin of all the things. That is going to kill you. You're gonna exchange your soul to Shinigami for sealing that Biju inside your son? That is the only way. Kushina's seal and any other seal was broken easily by that man. We cannot take any chances, because this seal is powered by Shinigami. Nobody, except for the one who has the key, or the Shinigami itself, can break the seal. As now we see, Shinigami did arrive. As instead of taking Minato's soul, it made an exchange. I won't take your soul, mortal, but you have to beware. The child of prophecy holds a dark vessel within him, much more darker than you can imagine. If that vessel is awakened, the whole world will be forsaken. With these words clearly said to Minato, we see that Minato was shaken to the core, as the Shinigami sealed the Biju inside Naruto completely, and before anything could be said, left. As Minato for a mere moment witnessed that markings begin to appear on Naruto's body, as his eyes turned into slits. Underneath his eyes, two more eyes opened that were complete blood red with slits in them. But before anything could happen, as he shook his head to see, all of them disappeared, as Naruto was returned back to normal. As now we go inside Naruto's mindscape, as we see, Kyuubi was again sealed and was cursing until he heard an echoing sinister laughter and sensed a force like no other evil. As even the mighty Kyuubi had tucked its tails underneath its leg and was covering in fear on the other side. A new toy. This world certainly is interesting. Who would have thought that mythological creatures in my world would be a reality here? This certainly has piqued my interest. Who are you, mortal? Said Kyuubi with a grumbling tone. You do not need to know, Fox. Because I first want to monitor and get to know my vessel closely. As now we see, red glowing eyes were seen, as Kurama was scared for the first time in his life, because he, for the first time, was meeting with a force of unknown, a force that was much more sinister and powerful at the same time. What is this feeling? I can sense the evil seeping out of each and every fiber. What kind of being is this that has been trapped in this boy? As now we see, on the other side, Minato was also in the same predicament. He has been informed by the Shinigami, that goddess itself, that his son possessed a darker soul. What could be much more darker than the Kyuubi? But the Kyuubi was just sealed, and by law, Shinigami must have taken his soul, but it didn't. As if Minato was doing her a favor. And Minato was scared for that. For the first time scared of Naruto, his own son. As now we see, Minato was in deep thought as Kushina then said, "Are you not going to hold your son?" Minato, no, it's fine, Kushina. I'm just worried. Worried about what? Everything is fine, right? No? Everything is for the time being. But that masked person claiming to be Madara is still out there. It was by sheer luck that Shinigami, by some miracle, didn't take my soul. I did end up using the Hakefuyin seal. As even Kushina was quite shocked at this. But Minato, what did Shinigami say? As at that moment, Danzo and Hiruzen walked in as well. As Minato blurted out, "There is a darker force sealed within Naruto. By birth. By Kami, Shinigami, and Yami, it seems. Shinigami told me that if that force is allowed to be awakened, the whole world will be forsaken." As that is when Danzo also noticed that the markings on the Naruto's body were growing, as a visible mouth separate from Naruto's appeared with a sinister smirk on his face as an eye underneath the child's eyeball in itself was opened and glaring directly at Danzo before disappearing altogether. "Did I drink or something? What was that?" "I think I agree with Minato," said Danzo immediately as his eyes narrowed towards the child. "This child, he possesses something dark, very much sinister. I for one saw it with my own eyes, I guess." "What do you mean by that, Danzo?" said Kushina, becoming defensive. "Kushina, I don't mean to offend you, but I think what Minato is saying is correct." "And I know what you are thinking, Minato." "What do you mean by that, Danzo?" said Hiruzen. "I think it would be best if we place the child in the orphanage for the time being." "What? Are you insane? All of our life, after I lost my clan, you, being an orphan, wanted a family. And now that we have our own, you want him to be an orphan as well?" "Kushina, you don't understand. There's something deeply dark about Naruto. We have to be very careful. Then we will be. I'm not abandoning my child, Naruto." As after that, Kushina hugged Naruto closely. As now we see, after that, Minato agreed with Kushina. It must be his imagination. And years began to pass by. As Naruto grew up, he was acting kind in front of the others, but there were some moments in the night time. Once a while when Minato was awake, doing work in his office that was at home, Minato would notice Naruto, as if he was sleepwalking, go outside into the backyard and kill a cat, a wandering cat, and literally draw a pentagram onto the ground from its blood and sit down within it. As he would sometimes even look up at his father, with literally blood markings all over his body, with a sinister smirk. As Minato was shaken to the core, to the point that one night, while he was witnessing the same events, and was hoping to record it to show it to Kushina, we see that once he brought out the camera and changed his sight direction from Naruto to something else, Naruto disappeared. As now, Naruto was standing beside him. "What are you doing, father?" said a deep demonic voice. What are you?" "Those foolish gods think that they can strip me from my own world and place me in such an interesting world, and I wouldn't take an opportunity to see it for myself." "What have you done to my son?" "Ah, nothing. Your son is just resting." You're not QB." "Of course I'm not that dumb fox." "Who are you?" "I'm not one to brag, but I am the cursed spirit known as Sukuna." Sukuna? Cursed spirit? Yes. You see, while you have Bijus and beings as such, we have curses. Powers that are beyond you, yokais. Everything that you think here as a myth is reality in my world. Even I myself am claimed as one such." "What are you doing using my son's body?" "Oh, nothing. Just progressing the breaking of the seals that the goddesses placed on me." "What? Do you think I would allow you to?" As instantly Minato halted, freezing in its own place as Naruto walked towards him. "Yare yare daze. It seems as if I have to kill you, Minato. But I honestly don't want to. You intrigue me. Out of all, you are aware And yet you haven't revealed this to anyone. Why? I wanted to understand what was happening to my son. I know now that Naruto is different from you and is innocent. I thought at first that Naruto was doing this on his own, but now I have seen what kind of evil you are. Of course you have. As that is when Sukuna then said, but you haven't seen anything. Anything of what I'm capable of. The caliber that I hold. Wanna see, for an instance, for someone who has just seen a visage, as that, in an instant, the red eyes turn into the red eyes with slits. The eyes of Biju's marking disappear. Minato, save me from this monster, said a other demonic voice. As Minato understood that voice completely and remembered it. Kyubi, yes, you don't know what kind of monster Kami, Yami, and Shinigami have sealed within your son. He's using your son's body. He's breaking those seals instantly, like one after the other, like popping a glass bubble. You have to do something, and fast. Use as many seals, chakra suppressors, whatever you call them, on this child. What if I don't even dare think so? You think I would allow you to kill my vessel? My poor vessel has befriended me, and I, for the first time, have an innocent friend. What kind of sick monster are you? You're manipulating my child? Not manipulating, but making a friend. You see, it tends to get lonely when you're only a strong curse spirit, and now that you have a vessel, you don't get along with it. I have first-hand experience with other vessels, but they were quite annoying. And honestly, your kid intrigues me. How can someone be so innocent at the same time? So pure. So Minato, since you have made a good by my side, what kind of good? That you haven't told anything about this to Kushina or anyone else. I will do you a favor as well. What? I will protect Naruto. I don't believe you. Believe me or not, I have my own ways of protecting this child, because I'm quite keen of him. And the only reasoning I can give you is that, for some reason, I am fond of him. I don't know what those goddesses have done, but a part of me likes this child. I am kind of his guardian spirit. Interesting, isn't it? The most cruelest spirit becoming the guardian of a child. I find it myself quite interesting and funny, to be honest. Because back in from where I came from, if this would have spread it out, people who have literally told you or anyone who they have heard from, even me myself, that I have either gone mad or you are mad, because I would never do such a thing. Because I crave violence, Minato. I love destruction more than anything. I would destroy for your child and do anything that is in my power possible to make sure he gets whatever he wants. Why are you doing such favors for my child? What do you want from him in the end? Nothing. I, through his eyes, see this world, and I'm quite interested in it, and I want Naruto to go out and have his own fun. Whatever he does, I'm always by his side. But mark my words, Minato. If you or anyone else tries to harm this child, I will burn this village down. And don't you dare think that I cannot do that. If I can make the strongest Biju that gave you all run for your money and scared you for the living hell out of you, what makes you think that I won't? Said Sukuna with a sinister smirk before disappearing and returning back to doing the ritual that he was doing, as Minato was shaken to the core. As literally, after only that moment he moved, as he saw Naruto, eyes were closed, as there were two more eyes that were opened, while his face was smiling. As the next morning, once Minato woke up, he saw that Naruto was returned back to normal. Hey, Touchan, you look quite tired, to be honest. Are you resting well? Yeah, Naruto, I am. Why do you ask, son? I'm worried about you, you know? As that is when Kushina said, "Oh, my little baby is worried about you, Minato. Don't you dare work too hard for your own sake. You have now a son and a wife to take care of." Yeah, you're right, Kushina. Maybe I've been working way too much. As after that we see Minato left. As now we see time begin to pass by some more, as Naruto reached at the age of 8. While Naruto reached at the age of 8, he entered the academy, and there he made a lot of few friends. But his most best friend was someone whom he thought was his imaginary friend, who resembled him, and the only difference between him and that person was the markings over the body, as both of them would usually sit down in a plane and talk while two red eyes watched from a corner. His friend would reassure him every night in his dream-like state that the thing won't interfere, that it was just a little bit scared. As now we see, Naruto, after getting off from the academy, had been told to stay back and do some extra work. And doing so, it was already getting evening, and after finally being finished, Naruto was told to go home. And so once Naruto was returning, it got pretty much late, because he took a few stops to enjoy some ramen. And now we see Naruto noticed that someone was rustling past by. As Naruto's senses kicked in, as he was about to escape, someone literally pierced a kunai straight through his knee as Naruto was on the ground. But before he could even yell in agony, someone tied a towel around his mouth so that muffling his screams, and dashed away with an injured Naruto. As now we see Naruto waking up as his blurred vision came to senses to see that he was surrounded by at least 50 shinobis, all from Iwagakure. From the headband he could tell. We finally got the sons of a bitch child. We can take out our wrath on him and send out a message to Minato to not mess with Iwagakure again. Sorry, kid, but you gotta go. Your father has done a lot of pain, caused us a lot of pain, and the only thing we can do is send out a message through you. Don't blame us, blame your father for this. As the man moved towards Naruto with a sword, as he was about to strike, the strike never came, as everyone looked towards the man to see that he was looking towards one's arm, now turning to stump. As on the other side, once their gazes fell back to where Naruto was to see that Naruto wasn't there, as a laughing sound was heard from behind them, as Naruto has changed as marking appeared on his body. As Naruto's lower eyes were opened, as 4 eyes were literal red. Finally, I can stretch and have some action. Oh, by the way, you're looking for your arm? It is here, said Naruto, throwing it back towards him. Catch! As everyone was scared in an instant. You know, you people think that I should, or Naruto should blame his father for what he has done to all of you. But I think you should pray to your father, or whatever god you want to pray to, for what I'm about to do to you. Because after I'm done, you won't be left. Nobody would be able to recognize you, or even collect your pieces. What do you mean we're not scared of? As Naruto made a hand sign, as he then said, domain expansion. Shrine. As a huge shrine appeared behind Naruto, as a dark atmospheric dome surrounded them all. As immediately some of them began to notice that the person standing in front of them began to split, literally from center half, into 4 separate pieces, as all of them were shocked, as Naruto began to move towards them. Interesting, isn't it? What do you call jutsu? I have domain expansion. While you're in this domain, I can be anything I want. Tormentor, savior. But why become that when I can be a literal god? Said Sukuna. As he then said, why don't you entertain me with your jutsus? I want to see more. As most of them tried their best, but Sukuna always found a way to counter them in their own element, the worst way possible. For instance, one of them tried to use the lightning jutsu, covering it with his kunai, and trying to attack Naruto. As Naruto or Sukuna grabbed it by the 2 fingertips and absorbed in the lightning. How about my turn? As in one hand, huge amount of lightning began to appear, as it was completely wired and cackling until it began to drip down from his hand. As the lightning ball was slammed into the chest, causing a huge explosion to occur, the remaining men were shocked to find the innards of their comrade falling from the sky, like raining with his own blood. As the man had a huge gaping hole in his chest, and nothing, they could literally see through it. As Naruto flung the body to the other side, as he had a sinister smirk on his face. Now, come at me, and entertain me some more if you don't want to end up like him. As one by one they all tried, but in the end, they were outmastered in their own element. And once Minato and the others found out that Naruto was missing, they sent out for search parties. And thanks to the Inuzukas, they were able to locate Naruto. But only him, sitting in a meditative position. As Minato once arrived at the place, he saw that the bodies or the parts or the carcasses that remained were in the form of a pentagram from all those 50 men. As Naruto was meditating, as black markings were disappearing, as Naruto then woke up. Oh, what is going on? As everyone was shocked and stunned when they find out about this. As Minato went towards Naruto, carefully crossing the bodies. As he then said, Naruto, do you remember what happened here, son? They wanted to kill me, then I passed out. My friend told me that he will help me, and I don't know what happened. Is he okay? I don't know, Naruto. He's not here. I think he is okay. Minato deduced because he knew who was behind this. Why don't you rest, son? Let me take care of this. As Naruto was then knocked out cold, unconscious by Minato with a small neck chop on the neck. As Minato then said, clear this out and send a warning letter to Eva. If they try to pull this again, there will be severe consequences. As that is when Minato heard a voice. You did good, Minato. Very good. And I have fulfilled my end of the promise. I told you, I will protect Naruto no matter what. You don't have to do that. You know that as much as I do. But he is the child of prophecy. The one that is meant to save all of these trash. And you know what? I think that they don't deserve him. Not one bit. And mark my words, if you still believe everyone can be good, then you will be one of those bigots and foolish people who think they can get away with anything and can see kindness in anyone. Because that is what people shroud themselves in, lurks in, before they kill. Like you. Think whatever you want, Minato. I don't care. I am past beyond those kind of things. I'm only here for entertainment and for one job, and that is to protect Naruto because I see great potential in him. Potential to be a curse user and a chakra user, or a combined one. A great vessel and student to pass on these teachings, to keep my memory alive. So you want to become some known legend? Yes, like your sage of the sixth path who were renowned for chakra. I want to be renowned for the curse energy passed down here. We're back at home. We should stop talking, said Minato, as they arrived at Konoha. Sukuna with a laugh disappeared. As now we see, people were shaken to the core, as even the most seasoned shinobis were quite shocked at what they have found. As Inoichi was told to investigate the mind of the dead, and what they found caused Inoichi to have severe PTSDs and quite scared. He was frantically quite scared of Naruto or even mentioning his name. What kind of monster is your son, Minato? Said Inoichi after recovering from a month or so of that trauma. He has something dark sealed inside of him. He's not that monster. I saw the sudden switch in his personality. One moment he was the innocent, cute kid we all know and love, as Naruto, your son. The other moment he was a sinister monster, like even more monstrous and evil than QB itself, and the powers that he used were abnormal, Minato. The domain expansion thing that he mentioned, whatever it is, do not mention those kind of abilities if you want to live. What do you mean by that? That is the great evil that I'm talking about. He is a great curse spirit that even made QB scared of him. What? What do you mean by that? Don't say anything but look into my memories. As Inoichi tried hesitantly and found the memories and confrontation between Sukuna and Minato. Sukuna? Oh no, Minato, what are we gonna do? That thing even made the QB so scared that it was begging for your mercy and help. I don't know. So far, the monster has been keeping his promise. That cursed thing or whatever is trying to protect Naruto. Become the next sage of the sixth path by passing on the cursed energy through Naruto and teachings here in this world. There will be more chaos if that happens. You know as well as I know that. He wants to revive here. As a full-fledged cursed energy spirit. He's just using Naruto. I know that for sure. As now we see on the other side, Naruto was back at his home resting, and in his mindscape he was talking to his doppelganger. As he then said, Sukuna, what is it, Naruto? What is it that you want? Nothing, I was just quite worried about you. You worried about me, kid? Don't know what to say. I'm pleased, I guess. Pleased? Dude, what do you mean you're pleased? I mean, I was scared. For your sake. I mean, nobody cared for my sake when I was a human. Most people did, but out of them being scared shitless from me, though, thought Sukuna to himself, because he remembered that his all fingers were severed and used as curse objects, being spread out all through Japan. Foolish them, thinking that there wasn't anyone out there stupid enough to get close to him. And then there was Itadori Yuji, the dumb vessel of his from the previous world. Anyways, what is it that you want to talk about? Well, you did say that you want to train me in some cool new jutsus, right? They're not jutsus, kid. They're curse techniques. Those eyes are shaking behind you. As Sukuna looked behind, tilting its head as the eyes disappeared into the darkness. They won't bother us, Naruto. Learn these arts. As at the age of 8, not only Naruto began to begin his training as the shinobi arts, but also in the arts of curse spirits. He was learning from the best of the best. As now we see, Sukuna was growing powerful because of the fear that was overgrowing here of him. Even if he was still under a vessel, he quite enjoyed the fear that was being here, and he quite enjoyed the world he was placed in. I mean, from his perspective, he was here not as a prisoner, but as someone who was a visitor. And that is why he was not interfering in this world directly, only helping out Naruto in dire situations. As now we see, Naruto reached at the age of 13, and Naruto was mastered already a lot of cursed energy techniques, as well as a lot of, well, taijutsu as well as ninjutsu techniques. As Naruto was placed in Team 7 with Kakashi Hatake, as they went on their first C rank mission after completing their D ranks, and that was to place a traveler known as Tazuna the Bridge Builder back to his home. As they were traveling at a civilian pace, we see that there was a puddle, and instantly two shinobis jumped out, but before anything could happen, there was a momentary freeze of time, as if a glitch in the world itself, and suddenly the people who appeared fell down to their face first to the ground and began to scream in agony, as they were literally missing their both feet and legs as well as their hands, because they were now nothing more than stumps, as if someone in an instant went there and cleaved it off. Kakashi obviously was warned about this by Minato, and he immediately deduced that it was the doing of Sukuna, as he could visibly see the markings disappearing behind Naruto's ears as well. So Sukuna was involved, huh? Good thing he's protecting Naruto, but still, that is quite dangerous. As now we see, once they reached at the land of waves, poor soul Zabuza Momochi arrived. As taking the advantage of the huge mist, Sukuna appeared and grabbed the sword, crushing it with his bare fingers, snapping it as well. As Kakashi was the only one visible enough to see this alongside with Zabuza, as he then stood in front of Naruto. As Sukuna then said, Oi, Jonin, right? Kakashi? Yes. Take care of your Genins and that thing. I don't want Naruto to suffer any losses on his first D-rank mission. Alright. What are you gonna do? Torture this poor soul that has come to me as a victim and offering. As Kakashi immediately knocked out both Sasuke and Sakura, as well as Tazuna, and using his Sharingan, he began to see what he could see. As now we see Naruto disappear, Blizz passed by, even making a hole literal out of the fog that was there surrounding him, and grabbed onto the neck of, well, Zabuza, literally flinging him into the air and then appearing above him and giving him an axe kick, throwing him down to the ground as he began to cough huge amount of blood. As suddenly Senbon's needle was thrown towards him as they hit Naruto in the back, but Naruto literally ripped them out as his wounds healed. As Naruto then said, "Is that the best you can do?" As he Blizz passed by Zabuza and Kakashi, arriving next to the one who threw the needles, and placed a fist into the face, sending him flying against a tree as the tree branches impaled into him. killing the man instantly. "No, Haku!" said Zabuza, as in his rage, taking out kunai as he charged towards Naruto, only for Naruto to literally use his fingers and make air as a literal weapon, combining both the jutsus as well as curse energy into a new art of its own, as it literally just sliced down as Zabuza in front of Kakashi and Naruto or Sukuna was split into two. As while running over, he split at V's passed by to each side of Naruto as Naruto walked through him without even doing anything. As Sukuna walked towards Kakashi and said, "My oh my, you also possess that red eye that those Red Eye clan possesses. What was it called? Ah, the Sharingan. Dojutsu. Quite interesting eye, to be honest. Capable of holding powers beyond what I have heard. Aside from the Yugas especially. But they are too far up in their own ass and needs to be brought down a notch. Please, don't. I'm not here to hurt you, Kakashi. Not for at least now. I am quite enjoying these little encounters with these foolish, arrogant-headed people. As now we see, the next thing Tauzuna and Sasuke and Sakura found were that they were back at Tauzuna's place and were resting, while Naruto was nowhere to be seen as well. As now we see, after a week passed, Gato got no word from Zabuza and arrived at the place to raid. Naruto was resting, so obviously Sukuna, taking this chance, woke up and literally traumatized the whole village by making an example out of Gato and his goons. And that is when Sukuna didn't hide for the first time from everyone. Even Sasuke and Sakura witnessed this onslaught alongside with Tazuna. What kind of monster is he? He is the king of curses. Much, much dangerous than anything, even the 9 Bijus combined. Said Kakashi in a scared tone. You don't even believe what I have been scarred with. This is a monster that we need to deal with fast. And Kakashi, no matter how much you try, you can't. Even Kamiyami and Shinigami couldn't kill me, so they had to rip me from my own world and place me into yours. We're cursed then, not cursed, old man. I'm here, sealed inside your own savior, the child of prophecy. What? It cannot be. Who else strong enough to hold my soul then, alongside all my powers? As this scared them to their own core. As that is when we see Sukuna then said, "You lack discipline, Kakashi, and you obviously are not strong enough to keep everything a secret. I'm unfortunate to say this, but I have to do this. Domain expansion. Memory erase." As everyone's memory was completely erased, and Naruto erased all the evidence of the onslaught. As now we see, Sukuna returned back to his domain, as Naruto returned back to being himself. Even Kakashi and the rest forgot completely about Sukuna and their encounter. And so Naruto was able to return. But as he returned, they found out the Chunin exams were approaching. While they were approaching, Akatsuki and Orochimaru, after finding out the news of what happened to Iwa Shinobi's all thanks to the Kage's kid and they're one of their targets, decided it would be best to invade together, taking the chances of taking all the Bijus, since this time around, Konoha, for once, was holding a peace treaty, and Minato was inviting each and everyone, and each and every Kage and their Jinchuriki as well. And so all the 9 Jinchurikis were together in one place, a win-win situation for them. And so as in canon, the Chunin exams went on until the final rounds appeared. As Naruto was about to go head-to-head with Gaara, because Sasuke was missing, we see that suddenly feathers begin to fall down, and as soon as they did, the Konoha crush began. Taking the chance and advantage of, while all this was going on, we see that Naruto tried at first to fight off against the armies and tried to protect as many as he could, but he failed. We see that Sukuna saw that Naruto was cornered not only by Akatsuki, but also by Orochimaru's forces, as he then said, "Naruto, Sukuna, not now, I'm trying my... You need to switch places with my kid. What? What do you mean by that? Listen, I'll be able to deal with this all. You don't need to do this. Let me stain my hands in blood as they have already been. I don't want you to do this." "Well, why?" "Because I have been the curse spirit since the beginning. Don't know why I feel empathy for you, kid. Maybe it's because of you are my vessel, or maybe because you were destined to save everyone in this God's forsaken world. Since now I'm a part of it technically, you're also aiming to save me, I guess. And since I have been with you since the beginning, I kind of respect that. That you didn't see the monster in me that your parents and the rest of the world see. What are you talking about? You're my friend, of course I won't see any monster in you. That is what is different about you, Naruto, and the rest of the world. Even my former world. I guess even a monster like me needs all it needs is a little bit of empathy to change. Or maybe not. As now we see, Sukuna then said, "Come on, kid, I'm itching for a fight." "Fine, fine, go ahead and enjoy." As Naruto then instantly switched with Sukuna as markings appeared. Ah, so the curse appeared. "What do you know about me? Tell me." One with the eyes of the sage. "You're a curse spirit. That is all I know." "No, you're wrong." As Naruto threw off his shirt, revealing markings all over his body. As from behind his back, two more arms appeared. As a skull mask began to appear on half of his face, disorienting him and making more eyes. As everyone was scared in an instant. "I am known as the King of Curses. The strongest demonic king spirit ever to exist." As everyone was literally scared as they jumped back. As now we see, Sukuna charged towards the Akatsuki, and what followed suit was onslaught, as Sukuna was literally toying with them, dodging each and every bit of their attacks, all the while just mocking them, making a literal mockery out of all of them. And once they were tired, Sukuna then said, "How about I show you a little bit of my abilities? Your domain expansion? We have already encountered that." "Seriously? Then how about the other domain expansion? Gates of Hell." As huge amount of skulls begin to appear from a huge skull mouth that opened as a throne appeared on which Sukuna sat. As demons begin to crawl out and literally drag them, rip their skins apart, eating their flesh alive. As the war that was going on stopped. Even Orochimaru and the others were terrified of what kind of monstrosity was going on. As that is when they noticed Sukuna in its all glory. You used Naruto. A little bit, yes, but not completely. Naruto is my friend, my one and only friend, and I asked him to switch places with me, because I don't want him to stain his hands with this world and its corruptness. I am the being that is corrupt. The world corrupt is starting with me and ending with me, Minato, in my world, and so could be said for this world. If I am the only one who can consume this world's corruptness. That is why Kamiyami Shinigami placed me here. They weren't afraid of me. I knew that much. They were strong enough to defeat me. Heck, even some of the curse users back in my world were. But now I see it. I was brought here for a reason, and this is it. I was brought here to change my views. I was brought here to be closer to Naruto as his guardian spirit, to absorb all the evils, while he gives out all the good. That is how things works. Both yin and yang, evil and good, in both harmony and balance. As after that, we see the torturous soul ended with domain expansion ending. As Naruto or Sukuna walked past by Minato, as everyone was in fear and trembling, as they sensed huge dread. Wherever he set foot, huge rivers of red followed him suit. They could see it in their imaginary vision. As Inuichi literally was about to piss himself, and Sukuna stopped and looked at him. "So you do know about me." "Mind readers. Very interesting ability of yours. How I wish we have fought. Your clan and I fought in the past in Edo period in my world. Such a pity. But you should be grateful that I have changed my ways, because if not, then you too would have suffered today." As now we see, Sukuna walk towards Orochimaru. "So you're called the snake of this world, huh? The most cunning out there. If it is coming from the Curse Spirit King, then I take it as a compliment. Do take so. But I want to see just how poisonous snake you can be. Are you ready?" "Ready as I ever be." "Use your biggest and strongest jutsu. I'll give you only one shot, Snake. Don't make me disappoint." As in front of everyone, We see that Orochimaru casted his biggest jutsu, the Sage Arts, and tried to attack with Kusanagi's sword. But Sukuna literally snapped that sword with that one hand that was rising from his back. As now we see, Sukuna then said, "Is that the best you can do?" How annoying. How about I show you a snake jutsu? Domain expansion. Shrine of the Snake Goddess. From hell. As the earth ripped apart, as a huge six-headed serpent rose from the ground that had red eyes with slits in them, and was bearing its fang out. It was such a demonic snake that its hiss alone caused all of them to literally cover in fear as their blood ran cold. As immediately in front of all of them, all these six of the six heads tear apart Orochimaru, consuming it before leaving the world altogether. That was fun. As Kushina was watching all of this for the first time. What have you done to my son? I have done nothing, Kushina. Nothing at all. And don't act like you didn't know that I existed. As soon as Naruto was developing within you, you knew. Did you not? Kyuubi warned you again and again about me. That something was off. Something sinister was coming off of this child. You didn't want it to believe. And at one point I even appeared myself in the vision of yours. Kushina, you knew? Of course I did. I didn't still want to give up on my son. You don't have to. All of you don't. But mark my words, any one of you. He looked towards especially Onigi. Tries to go against Minato, Kushina, and Naruto. Will be erased from this world. He said with such a sickening smirk, and I dare you please do try. Because I'm itching always itching for a fight, and stretching out. With that we see Naruto return back to normal, as everything was now normal, as Sukuna returned back to the hiding. As his sinister laughter for the last time was heard for the time being. As after he disappeared, people were quite scared, and there was no victory celebration whatsoever, just a moment of silence, as Naruto woke up. And at that time, for the first time Jiraiya appeared, bearing a grave news. That even if the world has been saved, it was always cursed by the cursed energy that is soon going to spread out, making sure that Sukuna will forever remain here, as the good, as the evil who consumes their evil, in the honor of his friend even after Naruto is gone. This was the prophecy now given to him, as now we go towards Kamiyama and Shinigami. Well, not the results that we wanted, but still better. The people are traumatized there. Especially the other nations, said Yami. Still, it is quite good. But you shouldn't have done this. I mean, Minato is literally scared of the poor child. Naruto might be deprived. He's not stupid. He can see clear difference between Sukuna and Minato. And we were all scared for naught. Sukuna himself said we could have taken him on. He's a cunning spirit who tends to make mockery out of everything. You should be very careful. Yes, we all should be. As for the time being, there was a huge sword looming over the heads of all the elemental nation known as Sukuna. We see the Kami, Yami, and Shinigami, and the Jujutsu Kaisen world could finally rest in peace, knowing that the biggest threat was gone. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this short movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is it for the day. Peace.